Hey City Church, happy January 27 to you. Today we are talking about God's provision and provision in our lives and what that looks like. We're going to be in 2 Corinthians 9:8 and just talking about what does God's provision look like in our lives? Not just financial, but spiritual, emotional, physical, just all the areas of need we have in our lives. What does that look like? And as God as our source, as our root, as our foundation in everything. Turning to 2 Corinthians 9:8, it says, "And God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things at all times, you may abound in every good work." And I love that verse because it's speaking to God as our provider and how He is our provision, but I love how it goes further to kind of talk about the purpose behind it. God is our provider. We can trust and rely on Him for everything in life, but it's so that we can, out of that overflow and out of that provision, we can turn and help the world around us, and it's to overflow so that we can pour out. I love a good example of this. If you back up actually a chapter to 2 Corinthians chapter 8, Paul writes about the Macedonian church, and it's interesting. This was a group of people that were very poor, very in need themselves, and but they were so generous and so just walking closely with God as their provider, as their source, and so trusting in Him and so close to the Lord that even though they were in so much need, they just overflowed in generosity and service, and so much so that it shocked even the Apostle Paul, where he wrote about it and just said that the Macedonian church, they give just so much, out of, they got 2 pennies to rub together, and they just give everything they have. And it's just such an awesome example and picture of just the church, and how when we're so close to God as our source and as our provider, that should overflow out of our lives, and we can turn and overflow to those around us in the world in need. And so this upcoming year, as we seek God as our source and as our provider for the things that He cares about our daily needs, food and clothing and housing, employment, family, all the basic needs of life. God cares so much about. As He provides for us, though, and pours into us, let us be a church that is just generous and turning and overflowing that generosity and provision from the Lord to the world around us. Let's use God's provision to build His kingdom, build the church, and just be full of joy and full of grace, and just living lives of gratitude by His grace. In Jesus' name.